long journey through education, back into the law, but this time I've educated myself. I didn't allow the system to tell me what the law is. I've done the research, I've awakened to it. What really awoke me was a documentary called The Nature of the Cage. Anyone familiar with that? No? John Harris, now deceased allegedly. Right, Nature of the Cage. Recommend it if you haven't seen it. That's the first recommendation. Nature of the Cage. Another one is from JFK to 9/11, everything is a rich man's trick. The guy who made that lives in York. From JFK to 9/11, everything is a rich man's trick. So those are two things that you can watch to help straighten you out on quite a lot of things, basically. So I'm here as a practitioner of the gentle, these words are chosen very carefully, the gentle art of peaceful. There's no need ever to be anything other than peaceful, and that's what they're good at. And that's if I use the word they, I mean the people that think they run the show, and they've got all these minions buzzing around us, like, you know, enforcement agents, so-called police officers, marshals, managers in stores, you know, just minions, hypnotized, brainwashed themselves. We're not blaming them for anything. They're just they don't know what they're doing. They haven't a clue what they're doing. So we're peaceful. We're self-love. This is huge. You know, there is a lot of love in this room. More than yesterday in Manchester. There's a lot of power in this room. I can feel it. And it must come from this. It must come from a lot of self-love. So you're doing great, guys. You know, I can see it in your faces. There's a lot of. You all look pretty well. In Manchester, there's not that level of wellness. Manchester gets hit hard, you know, like London does. Sovereignty. So we'll be talking a lot about sovereignty, and obviously non-compliance. So this one phrase. You could write a book just on this one phrase, you know. And I've got 90 minutes to do other things as well, you know. If I run over time, sorry about that, but there you go. So I was talking to Laura and Emma, and they said, "Oh, I'm new to this." And I said, "What are you new to?" And they said, "Well, being surrounded by people that don't think I'm bonkers." And I suppose on some level we all are, because we've been surrounded by people that do think we're bonkers. Okay? So one of my roles is to give us the tools to either keep them at bay, keep them at a distance, and to find some middle ground where they don't think we're bonkers because we sound as though we know what we're talking about. Yeah? I like that little article that you just showed, you know, sort of, it's the old saying, knowledge is power, you know, never was a true word spoken, knowledge is power. So, hopefully you'll get quite a bit of knowledge out of this. Right, the third screen is a 10-minute video clip. That's where we go on a journey into, if you like, into outer space. Because a lot of people are thinking, there's so many different perspectives on this fake pandemic. Some people see it as a planetary takeover bid. Some people say it as a profit sort of reset, banking reset. Okay, I'm not going to go down any of those. I'm not arguing with that, and it's all of those things. But it's something even bigger than that. And this 10-minute clip will give you an insight. It's called the Secret Covenant. It'll give you an insight into what is lurking behind all this nonsense. Yeah, we are at war. And you'll hear the people that the presenter refers to, these beings refer to us as they. So they refer to themselves as we, and they refer to us as they. So whatever your belief system is, it would help you to at least accept that the human race has an enemy that isn't human. Whatever that means to you. Okay? Right. And it might help you. Hang on, the batteries might be there, but I've got to get more batteries. Right, sod it. Sometimes it just.
Is it freezing again?
It's freezing. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Right, I was going to do this in Manchester, but I forgot. Let's do a bit of clapping. Now, when there's gremlins, when humans get together and clap, it removes the gremlins. So let's do a bit of clapping. that doesn't work, then the batteries have gone dead. Right, hang on. I think it is the battery, so I'm just gonna.
Press spacebar to see if it's. No.
Okay. Okay, this is challenging. So, right. Okay, we'll start then with. I'll skip that video. Well, that's for another time then. Okay. Because that video won't show you what your rights are. It's the background. So that's another time. Right. This is the main problem, and I've skipped all the reasoning and how this comes about. Well, basically, it's about schooling. Schooling teaches us one thing and one thing only: compliance. That's what you learn at school. You learn to comply, and your knee-jerk reaction when you see a figure of authority is you want to comply. Yeah, on some level, you want to please the authority figure. You don't want them angry because you think there are dark consequences awaiting them. Okay? So this is what we have to realise, is that this compliance is a knee-jerk reaction and we need to unpick it. Okay? So let's see what... Right. So what we need to do to unpick it is appreciate that this is basically who we really are. Okay? So these beings, which is us, coming from a creator, the universe, through Mother Nature. We've got men, women, fathers, mothers, boys, girls, sons, daughters, and they, over the years, got together and created law, L-O-R-E, which became common law, okay? And that's the law of the land. When somebody says to you, a figure of authority says to you, it's the law, okay? They have no idea what they're talking about. It's the law of the land. They're not talking about the law of the land. They're talking about legislation, which is not the law. So all these debates about is it a rule, is it a guideline, or is it it's all nonsense. The point is it's not law. It's not common law, which means it needs your consent because you are a man or a woman.
Thank you.
Men and women are the natural sovereign beings. So you're born sovereign. You're born a sovereign boy or a sovereign girl. And these officers are appointed, they take a public oath of office, and that's what gives them their authority. But it comes at a price. They're serving you. They are your servants. Okay, there's a video of someone going to some random police station, I don't know where it is, it's somewhere in the northwest, and he just starts filming outside the station. So all the coppers come out and say, "What are you doing?" He says, "What do you mean, what am I doing? I'm just minding my own business, filming a police station." They said, "Well, you can't do that." "Who says I can't do that?" He says, "You're dismissed now." He said to them, to the policemen, "You're dismissed." But he's got the right attitude. They are our servants. And if they're not operating as our servant, they're operating in another capacity, which we'll come to in a minute, which is down here. They're operating in a commercial capacity, looking for cash collection for the banks, for the banking system. Okay, the cash collector. Policy enforcement agents. All right, so I'm distilling this because I've only got the 40 minutes. So on this side, which is the legal side, so they'll talk always about legal. It's not legal, it's illegal. Gathering of more than 6 people, illegal. So what? It's lawful.
Yes.
Exactly.
You can say to them, "So what? Show us the law. Show us the law that says gatherings." It's what's known as unalienable, inalienable in plain English, unalienable right of a man or a woman to gather peacefully in whatever numbers they so choose to be around each other, to communicate with each other, to do peaceful things. So it's men, women doing peaceful things together. This is all irrelevant, totally irrelevant, this. But not to them, because it's their job, isn't it? It's just me, just doing my job, yeah? But it's irrelevant to us. Show us the law. They can't show you the law because all they've got is rules and legislation. Legislation is not law. So that's the first thing, and I'm sure some of you already knew that, maybe even most of you. But, so this is the law of the land. De jure basically means it's true law. Okay, it's truth. as opposed to de facto, which means they make it up as they go along. Okay? So you want to be lawful. We're all lawful. You want to be real. You want to be living. I mean, there's a lot of people with masks on that don't look as though they're living at the moment. No, that's not a living soul behind that mask. Or it's a part-time living. Is there such thing as a part-time living soul? Right? Yeah, mask on, mask off. Mask on, mask off. I said to someone recently, I said, can you breathe through that mask, madam? She said, of course I can. I said, well, then it's not protecting you, is it? You've got to see the funny side. It's absolutely hilarious. I know it's frustrating and we can all get angry at some of the nonsense that's going on around us. But it's absolutely hilarious, you know? And if you, obviously, what I went on to say is, well, if you can't breathe through that mask, madam, then it's killing you. So you can't win, can you, madam? Yeah? It's not protecting you, or it's killing you. Take the choice. So, on this side, the legal side, you've got the legal fictions. The person, don't be a person. It's not clever and it's not funny. Don't be people, okay? Don't be a parent. Do not be a parent. Be a mother or a father, not a parent. When you fall for their terminology, they don't know what's going on. This is legalese, folks. It's legalese. It's a language that looks like English and sounds like English, but it was made by the Venetians, the Romans, the cabal, the banksters, whatever. They all got together, and the lawyers that they employed to devise a language that would take us off the land and onto the sea.
That's It's the understand, isn't it, when they say...
Yeah, we'll come to that.
That's legalese.
So, if you give your name and address, you're stepping off the land onto the sea, and then you're subject to piracy, aren't you? Okay? Piracy rules on the sea. It's might is right on the sea. But here, right is right on the land. Okay? Right is right, might is right. Okay? And if they call you anything other than a man or a woman, or your first name, they're dragging you, or trying to drag you, into this fictional world. Right. So if you read between the lines, if you know that public is dead, commercial, fiction, and you put it together with health, then we're talking about the health of an entity that's dead, that's fictional, that's two-dimensional. So this is, again, very deceptive. Public health means profitability. COVID-19 is an economic issue, because my health is private. I look after my health privately. It's not a public issue. So why should, if you all do the same, then we all have private health issues, don't we? Good health, average health, bad health. But it's private, it's individual. Public health, same as public interest and the United Nations sustainability. They all mean one thing and one thing only: profitability. That's the determining factor for these globalists and cabalists. Okay, they've got a lot of humans doing this as well, focused on money and profitability. It's an there's the infection, folks. There's the virus. Yeah? If I was in Manchester, I would have sworn again now, I'm telling you. There's the virus. Yeah? It's materialism.
Where's it go back to, though? It goes back a long time, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it does, yeah. Yes. We're all equal under the law. All of us. No exceptions. An obligation to do anything can therefore only exist by contract or by consent. Okay? No one can require you. Even in legalese, require just means request. We have God-given unalienable rights as living souls, like the right to life, the right to privacy, the right to free speech, the right to free thought. Okay? And those are unalienable, which means that the commercial world can't touch them. Lien is a commercial charge on something. So they're not touchable. That's all that means. It means that the legal side can't touch it. The lawful side respects it and rejoices in it, but the legal side can't touch it. The Venetians, the banksters, the cabal, whatever you want to call them, they can't touch those rights. They may think they can, and they may tell you that they can. Oh no, it's a pandemic, your rights don't apply. No. Your rights are eternal and unalienable. The government then, being a fiction, meant, anything ending in ment, pay meant, govern meant, entertain meant. Ment comes from the Latin mente, meaning mind. It's a figment of your imagination. We don't have a real government. We have a figment of our imagination. So someone said to me the other day, "Oh, do you know what Boris just said?" I said, "I don't give a blank."
Sue, that Boris who?
Boris who? Boris Spassky, that was a chess player. Boris, I don't give a flying F what Boris said. Why would I? So the government belongs to the land of the dead. But those who know about the legal, the birth name, the birth certificate, the legal certificated birth name, know that they put us in the land of the dead. And so if they they ask you for your full legal name, you're descending from living soul to an entity that the government owns. Yeah? I can't go into that any more than that, because even in 90 minutes I couldn't go into that, but in 40 minutes, forget it. The government can neither contract with you nor impose obligations. Contracts only exist between people of the same species, which is men and men, women and women, men and women, women and men, but not living souls and fictions. You can't contract with the government. If you have a driver's license, that's not a contract between the living soul and the government. It's called an adhesion contract between the government and their legal name that they own, that you in your ignorance have signed up for. Yeah, it's kind of a trick contract. Yeah. Government mandate is therefore a contradiction in terms. How can a figment of your imagination tell you to do anything? You can just go poof, be gone, abracadabra, you're gone. You know. But we've all been to school, and that head teacher was the head teacher throughout, and she was an imposing figure, or he was. And so we learned fear, and we learned anxiety, and we learned not to trust our own inner knowing, intuition, inner tutor, intuition. So we unlearned all the basic skills that we're born with. We're born with everything. That's why the education system is a joke. We're born with everything. Yeah, they just rip it out of you. Piece by piece, they take it from you. Your singing ability, your public speaking ability, your spontaneity, your ability to make friends, your ability to focus on tasks that you find enjoyable and life-affirming. It's all ripped out of you by the schooling system. If it hasn't been, you are so lucky. You are so lucky, because it happens to pretty much most people. And you end up with what's known as complex PTSD. And with this complex PTSD, which is hidden, it's not obvious, that's how they get you to comply, because they can trigger those old wounds. Yeah? They can press a button, they can just stand over you, 6'6", 20 stone copper stands over you, and you're already in fear. You're not frightened of him, you're frightened of whoever it was that put you in fear 20 years before. So who is sovereign? A man or a boy, a woman or a girl? Because they're free to do as they please, provided they cause no harm. These are the precepts of common law. Cause no harm, cause no loss, cause no fraud, or cause no breach of the peace. If you're doing none of those things, and this is actual harm, not potential harm. Oh, if you cough on me, I could get sick. Right? Potential harm doesn't count, and I don't even believe in that anyway. Some of us are what are known as terrain theorists. I'm a terrain theory man. You can't make anyone else sick. You know? You could chop their leg off, but you can't infect them with anything that's inside of you. It's not physically possible, although they're trying to tell us that it is.
Making loss, so where is property in that?
Yeah, causing them financial loss. Destroying their property.
So
Damage.
it means that living souls can have property, yes?
Living souls, yes, they could have built something. They could have built a house. And you throw a brick through the window. That's what's causing them loss. So mask wearing, social distancing, vaccination, self-isolating, track and tracing, test and tracing, gathering in groups of however many are all voluntary acts. Yeah? You make a sovereign voluntary decision and you do it. Yeah? As long as you've not caused harm, loss, fraud, breach of the peace. It's not an issue. It's not an issue for the law. And these so-called, what they calling them? Instant penalties, £100 here.
200 now.
They can't process them. They haven't got the pay. They haven't got they don't register in the system because it's a civil offence. If they take you to the station, they end up, oh here, take your piece of paper. You know, it's all a pantomime, folks. It's a psyop, psychological operation par excellence.
Can I just ask then, if that does happen to anyone,
Right?
what do you say? What do you sort
No,
of-
we're coming to that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Doing it again.
Get back in that car. All persons travelling on Metrolink must wear a face covering. I giggle my pants off when I see this. Because if you know legalese, you know that person is the dead, right? So you're not, if you're alive, if you're a living soul, you're not a person. So it doesn't apply to you. Right. Must in legalese means may, because as we know, living souls have to sign up for an obligation, right? Face covering, what's one of those? I've already got a face. I was born with a face covering. I shave it every day.
You know, I don't think you could wear a face covering on your shoulder.
Yeah. Must wear a face. Yeah. Why not? Yeah. Your child must wear a face mask and keep a social distance from other children. Well, we can destroy this. Who is you? You is plural. Singular is thee, thy, thou. Okay? You. Somewhere along the line, we were not taught that you is plural. Okay, so it's some unidentified person who we don't know who that is, has got a legal entity, a two-dimensional entity that was certificated shortly after their birth, may wear a face mask and keep a social distance. What's social about distance? Right? From other children, so other legal. So this is two-dimensional. This is the world of. This is the dead legal fiction word. Doesn't apply to living souls. As soon as you take that on board, you can figure. You don't need any paperwork. You just need to take that on board. Just let it sink down into the heart, and it's you're a living soul. This doesn't apply to you. But if you're a narcissist, the N word, narcissist, psychopath, sociopath, then you're happy to inhabit the world of the dead because the world of the living is too traumatic for you because you're an empty shell. So you want to be in the world of the dead and you want to comply because you want to do the virtue signaling. Look how good I am. Look what a piece of crap you are. You're not complying. See what I mean? That's how these people. That's what they get their kicks.
Yeah.
They get their kicks from compliance. They're the 500 million that is referred to in the Georgia Guidestone. The psychos, sociopaths and narcissists who will happily team up with artificial intelligence and form this dystopian world that we don't want any part of. The other 7 billion is us, right? So that's what we're here to protect, the other 7 billion. Now we may have massive disagreements with 6.99999 billion, but what we must all agree on is that we're the humans, we're the 7 billion full-on humans. Now, are the others not human? On some level, then they are not human on some level. I won't go into that. I can't go into that. It's too much. But they're not fully humanized. You know, there's something missing, an element of compassion or conscience, or there's something empathy. There's something went wrong somewhere along the line. Childhood trauma? No, because we've all had childhood trauma.
Yeah, too.
So it's not that. Anyway, I haven't got time, even in 90 minutes, I can't go into that. He who remains silent when he ought to have spoken and was able to is taken to agree. So you've got to be very careful. See, this is what, up until about 2 months ago, I was a Facebook digital warrior. Very proud of myself, typing like a Trojan, putting the world to rights. And then one day I thought, hang on a minute, no one's disagreeing with me. I'm in an echo chamber. I'm not doing anything anymore. It's all. I'm finished on Facebook. You know, I'm convincing no one. So that's why I'm out on the streets every Saturday with the crew, megaphone. You know, Mickey megaphone or whatever. Big gob, big megaphone, big gob. What a combination. Because I've realised that we've got to be visible, like I said before in the preamble. We've got to get our message, our clear message, pro-humanity message, with no frills and spills. It's so simple. We're just pro-life and pro-humanity, and that's it. There's no politics involved. There's nothing involved apart from that. We just want our planet back, and we just want you off, whoever you are, and the 10-minute clip would have given you the new covenant, but and that's only for another day. Whoever you are, F off. This is not your planet. And this is what the shift is all about. The shift is all about the human race, Homo sapiens 1.0, taking back the planet. Because the mother, our true mother, the planet, wants us to grow with her and is getting us ready for us to do that. But these parasites, tanks, or whatever, or vampires, ghouls, psychos, sociopaths and narcissists are not comfortable with that idea. Doesn't suit their agenda. Out on the streets, your basic sovereign shield is to answer a question with a question. As king. Okay? As king. Asking is as king. Sovereignty. You stopped in the street and asked, are you part of an organised illegal gathering? Your best answer is, am I obliged to answer that question? Okay? There's all kinds of, answer. Sovereigns do not answer. They ask questions. Okay? So it's question from them, question from you. There used to be a TV quiz show where you couldn't say yes or no. You had to answer some smart arse answer instead of saying yes or no. It's that game. They're playing that game out. Yeah? Is your name Mr. Edelman? Who's asking? What's your name? Just play them at their own game. What's your rank? What's your serial number? What do you have for breakfast? Just get them so tired of the questions that, they'll leave you alone. You could also ask, are you operating? Don't use the word act. Acting is pantomime. It's theatre. It's Romeo and Juliet. Operate. Are you operating under your oath of office as a constable or doing business as a policy officer? If you are a constable under oath, what crime are you investigating? So you'll get the slides, so we can crack on.
Is it you that's got the paper?
If you're operating as a government...
Can you send me all the emails and I can send them the slides?
Nice.
Rhubarb. If you're operating as a government policy enforcement agent, then I do not wish to contract with you, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for you to... You can't contract with them anyway, to be honest, as we've found out. You're not on the same level, contractually speaking. Got to have two parties of equal status. So you could easily say, I cannot contract with you, but they won't understand what you're saying, so just say, I do not wish to. Could you explain what is meant when we said that we are governed by consent? Even Theresa May said we're governed by consent. You don't have to go to this extent, but it's just giving you an idea of how a sovereign can respond in certain situations. That's all. Am I under arrest? If I'm under arrest, could you articulate the reasonable suspicion or cause for that arrest? Of course you're not under arrest. How can you be under arrest for talking to your pal? By what authority are you claiming what you are claiming? You say it's the law, show me the law. This is, I know people that have used this, that's powerful. Show me the law. They can never show, they don't know what the law is. Police officers are not trained in law any more than teachers are trained in education, doctors are trained in health, bankers are trained in money. Society is a scam. So if you're unplugging from society, you're on the right track. You're following your mother by unplugging, Their so-called authority is a scam. Their so-called knowledge is a sham. They know nothing, and they want us to believe that we know nothing, but increasingly that's not true. We know more and more and more, and the more we know, the more frightened they become. If you're short on confidence or experience, then simply say, I do not answer questions. This is a good one. I saw an American video with this guy. The traffic cop pulls the guy over. Good day, sir. May I see your driver's license? I'm sorry, officer, I do not answer questions. You have a nice day, sir.
You just walked off,
Hey?
You just walked off like that.
Yeah, just walked off. There's that one again. Do not wish to contract me. The most cunning question, this is what someone was saying before, is do you understand? In legalese, this is a request for you to stand under their authority. Just say no. Do you understand? No. Knee-jerk reaction. Do you understand? No. What is it that you don't understand? I just don't understand. I'm a serial non-understander. If you answer any question at all, you've given joinder and have silently agreed to the officer's authority. See, they take that, the fact that you answered the question as a silent agreement. It's tricky stuff. It's really tricky stuff. You know? You're now very vulnerable, so start recording and get a badge number and name. You're vulnerable, but all is not lost, as we'll see. Vulnerable here means vulnerable to arrest if you do not cooperate by giving your name and address for the penalty notice. This is a joke. This is civil. It's like parking. It's like, oh, you 7 people were illegally parked. You know? So it's a parking. It's not crime. It's not criminal. It's bluff. It's rubbish. They haven't got. They're just trying it on. They're getting their impetus from this, section 110 of the serious, look at it, serious organised crime. I mean, at the moment, am I a serious organised criminal? Eh? Serious Organised Crime and Police Act. This is when the police state really went on steroids. Because there they can arrest you for when they think you might be about to commit an offence. You know what I mean? It's almost like Minority Report, yeah.
It's like they don't even need that crime predictive technology.
Yeah. So this is the, if you ally this to artificial intelligence, we've got problems. Houston, we got problems. Even if you've given joinder or you have not given joinder, but the policy enforcement officer has a personal problem, which a lot of them do, all is not lost. You've got 3 further weapons. You've got a personal accountability notice. I hereby serve you notice. Give them the notice if you've got it written down, or say it out loud. You've got it on your phone, just read it to them, but record what you're doing. That you are operating outside of your public oath of office, and that you are therefore not protected by public indemnity insurance against any harm or loss caused to me by your unlawful conduct. I therefore notify you that I hold you personally accountable for any physical or psychological harm or financial loss caused to me as a result of your actions today. I also notify you that I shall prosecute such unlawful conduct in a Roman civil court, I'll rub it in, or if necessary in a duly convened common law court. Do you understand? Oh. Dream of the day, the dream of the day. This is what dreams are made of.
Is it after that point then, that if they do arrest you, then you can apply for compensation for unlawful arrest and unlawful detention?
Yeah, as long as you've got evidence that you've given them notice.
But it's only after that you think.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, sure, yeah. Or if your mind goes blank and it's all a blur, just say I reserve all my unalienable rights. Make sure you've got the word unalienable written down because it's bloody hard to remember that word, right? Reserve all your rights, and then you could hit them with this, yeah? Because that would be one of the rights that you've reserved, yeah? The second remedy is in commerce. So, officer, you're requiring me to comply with an order. I know someone that's done this. I haven't done this myself yet. Again, it's what dreams are made of. In that case, here's my bill. Here's my bill for compliance. And this is legit. It works. I know someone that does it for fun, right? Okay? He's also been arrested for fun, but that's another day's work, right? But it works because they're in commerce. If you've not transgressed common law, that means we're in commerce, and if we're in commerce, you give them a bill. 10,000, and you can preempt all this by filing an affidavit at your local or the chief constable, giving your fee schedule for breach of the oath of office. You know, £10,000 for false imprisonment, £50,000 for false arrest, blah 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 blah. So, file it as an affidavit, get it notarized, put it in, and then it saves you all the paperwork. Get a reference number for the affidavit, and then you can. I'd like to refer you to affidavit DA1965. You know, Captain's Log, Star Date 2243. You know. So I haven't done that myself because I might do it, but I'm hoping I won't need to. So in commerce is your second remedy, and if all else fails, then and you are arrested and they take something from you like your phone, and they'll only give it to you. If you sign something, then sign under duress of circumstances, or all inalienable rights reserved. And also, as we discussed, VC, yeah. Which is the Latin for vis coartada, which means against my will.
What, VC? Yeah,
Very
just sign it, just put
VC, yeah.
Are you
So
saying
you don't put any
put your
signature or
name, put
anything?
that
Yeah,
instead of your
when you
name?
put VC.
You have to sign and put that.
Well, no, because they want, yeah, sign
You have
it,
to put your name.
but in order for the signature to be annulled and to
Yeah.
have no value in law, you've put that,
Yeah.
or that, or both,
Or
Yeah.
VC.
or VC, yeah. Okay, so they can't do it. Your signature then means nothing. Okay, it means that you didn't consent.